In the heart of Chicago, a city all too familiar with loss, a profound sorrow has taken hold. This time, the grief is for one of its own protectors, Officer Crystal Rivera, a 4-year veteran of the Chicago Police Department. Her life was tragically cut short, not by the hand of a criminal she pursued, but by a devastating accident involving a fellow officer. The incident, which unfolded late on the evening of Thursday, June 5, 2025, has sent shockwaves through the department and the community she served with dedication. It serves as a stark and painful reminder of the inherent dangers and split-second decisions that define the life of a police officer, where a single moment can irrevocably alter countless lives. The circumstances surrounding Officer Rivera's death are particularly heartbreaking, highlighting the thin line between safety and tragedy that officers walk every single day. While engaged in a high-stakes foot pursuit of an armed suspect, a single shot was fired by her partner. That shot, intended for the suspect who posed a clear threat, instead struck Officer Rivera. The news of this friendly fire incident has left her colleagues and the city grappling with an overwhelming sense of disbelief. This was not a confrontation with an enemy on the streets, but a catastrophic mistake in the heat of a chaotic and dangerous situation, a scenario every officer fears, but hopes never to experience. The loss is felt deeply, not just within the ranks of law enforcement, but by every resident who understands the sacrifice made by those who wear the badge. Officer Rivera was more than a uniform. She was a mother, a daughter, and a cherished member of her community. At just 36 years old, she had dedicated her life to a childhood dream of serving and protecting others, a calling she pursued with passion and professionalism. Her absence leaves a void that cannot be filled, and the city is now united in mourning the loss of a vibrant officer whose journey was ended far too soon by a cruel twist of fate. As we stand here today, on June 9, 2025, the city is still processing this immense tragedy. Police Superintendent Larry Snelling spoke for many when he described Officer Rivera as a young, vibrant, and a hard worker, whose compassion was as notable as her bravery. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson also expressed his profound condolences, emphasizing that this event underscores the grave risks our officers face each day to keep us safe. The collective grief is palpable, a heavy blanket covering a city that now must find a way to honor a fallen hero while supporting those left to navigate the aftermath of this terrible accident. The tragic chain of events began around 9:50 p.m. in the Chatham neighborhood, a community on Chicago's South Side. Officer Rivera and her tactical team were actively trying to stop a man, later identified as 25-year-old Adrian Rucker, who was suspected of carrying a weapon. The situation escalated quickly when Rucker refused to comply and instead bolted, initiating a dangerous foot chase. He fled into a 3-story apartment building located at 8210 South Drexel Avenue, forcing the officers to follow him into an unpredictable and confined environment. The darkness and the unknown layout of the building immediately heightened the tension and the risk for everyone involved in the pursuit. Inside the building, the confrontation reached a critical point. Surveillance and body camera footage later revealed a harrowing moment where Rucker allegedly aimed an AR-style pistol directly at Officer Rivera's partner. This aggressive action confirmed the officer's worst fears and instantly transformed the chase into a life-or-death encounter. In response to this immediate threat, Rucker then jumped over a couch and continued to flee down a narrow hallway. Officer Rivera, committed to apprehending the dangerous suspect, bravely continued the pursuit, moving deeper into the building without a moment's hesitation, her focus entirely on her duty to protect the public. It was in this chaotic and fast-moving sequence that the fatal mistake occurred. As Officer Rivera pursued Rucker down the hallway, her partner, reacting to the threat Rucker had just presented, discharged his firearm. He fired only a single shot. Tragically, that one bullet did not find its intended target. Instead, it struck Officer Rivera in the back, inflicting a mortal wound. The Chicago Police Department has since confirmed that this was the only shot fired during the entire incident, and that the suspect, Adrian Rucker, never discharged his own weapon. The very action meant to protect his partner ended her life. The aftermath of that single gunshot was immediate and devastating. The pursuit came to a halt as the gravity of the situation became clear. The focus shifted from capturing a suspect to a desperate race against time to save Officer Rivera's life. Her partner, whose name has not been publicly released, was suddenly faced with the unimaginable horror of having accidentally shot his colleague and friend. This moment, born from the split-second decisions required in policing, now stands as a testament to the terrible weight officers carry and the irreversible consequences that can arise from a single, tragic error in judgment. Crystal Rivera was not just a police officer, she was a woman who had fulfilled a lifelong dream. From a young age, she knew she wanted to wear the badge and serve the city of Chicago. She saw it as her calling, a way to actively help people and make a tangible difference in her community. Joining the force in 2021, she quickly earned a reputation as a compassionate and dedicated officer, someone who brought both professionalism and a warm heart to her daily duties. Her commitment was evident to her colleagues and to the residents she interacted with, embodying the very best of what it means to be a public servant. Beyond her uniform, Officer Rivera was a devoted mother to her 10-year-old daughter. Her role as a mother was central to her life, providing her with a source of joy and motivation. The stories shared by friends and family paint a picture of a woman who balanced the immense pressures of her job with the deep love she had for her child. She was building a future for her daughter, one in which she hoped her own service would contribute to a safer world. Now, that future has been tragically stolen, leaving a young girl without her mother and a family shattered by an unbearable loss that will be felt for a lifetime. The path that led to her final moments was complicated by a series of unfortunate events. After she was shot, her fellow officers worked frantically to get her to a hospital. They placed her in a squad car and sped towards medical help, but in a cruel turn of events, the vehicle malfunctioned, crashed, and caught fire, causing a critical delay. She had to be transferred to a second vehicle to continue the journey. Despite the heroic efforts of her colleagues and medical personnel, Officer Rivera passed away less than an hour after being shot, her life slipping away before she could receive the care she desperately needed. As the city grieves, the investigation into the incident continues. The officer who fired the shot is now at the center of an internal review by the Chicago Police Department, a process that will undoubtedly examine tactical protocols and use of force training. This officer is now living with the immense burden of his actions, a weight that no training can fully prepare someone for. The department has chosen not to release his name, allowing him and his family privacy as they, too, navigate this profound tragedy. The incident has forced the entire department to confront one of its deepest fears, prompting a period of somber reflection. The response from the city of Chicago has been one of overwhelming grief and solidarity. In the days following Officer Rivera's death, memorials have sprung up, with flowers, candles, and heartfelt notes left outside her district station. Residents from all walks of life have come together to pay their respects, demonstrating a shared sense of loss for an officer who paid the ultimate price. These vigils and gatherings are more than just a public display of mourning. They are a testament to the community's desire to support the Rivera family and the entire police department during this incredibly difficult time, bridging divides in a shared moment of sorrow. The suspect whose actions set this tragedy in motion, Adrian Rucker, was apprehended a short time after the shooting, found hiding between houses near the apartment building. He now faces a host of serious felony charges, including armed violence and unlawful possession of a firearm. During a search, authorities recovered multiple firearms, including 2 AR-style pistols, ammunition, drugs, and fraudulent identification cards. A judge has ordered him to remain in custody, deeming him a real and present threat, a stark reminder of the danger Officer Rivera and her partner confronted that night, and the criminal element they worked tirelessly to remove from the streets. This incident has cast a long shadow over the Chicago Police Department, forcing a difficult conversation about the pressures and split-second judgments inherent in modern policing. Officers are trained extensively, but no amount of training can completely eliminate the risk of human error in high-stress, life-threatening situations. The department is expected to conduct a thorough review of its protocols in the wake of this tragedy, seeking to learn from this devastating event to prevent anything similar from happening in the future. The emotional toll on the officers involved, especially Rivera's partner, is immeasurable, and the department is providing support to help them cope. Ultimately, the story of Officer Crystal Rivera is one of sacrifice, a tragic reminder that the men and women in law enforcement put their lives on the line every day. Her death was not in vain. It has united a city in grief and highlighted the very real human cost of keeping our communities safe. As Chicago mourns, it also comes together to lift up her family, especially her young daughter, offering a network of support to help them through their darkest hours. Officer Rivera's legacy will be remembered not by the tragic way she died, but by the dedicated and compassionate way she lived.